Hello everyone, and welcome again to another LEGO Bionicle video. For today guys, we are going to be doing our short review on the Overlord Makuta. So let's get straight into it guys. So starting off with the actual feet guys, pretty simply enough, you can articulate the actual feet itself. Now it's pretty simple, you can articulate the toes actually, like so. Now, in terms of the actual foot, I should say the foot or the feet, is the fact that guys, if I turn the set around and show you the actual feet properly, as you can see there, sad thing about the set guys is the fact that you cannot really articulate that much. Now what do I mean by that guys? Well, in terms of the movement, as you can see here, so if I lift it up there for you all, you'll be able to see this piston right here. Now however you move this part of the foot actually determines how you move the back. And that's just the sad thing about the set. So if I move it up, you can see that you can move it forward. Now unfortunately, this piece here, or this Technic panel, kind of hinders the movement a bit, so there is only a limited movement to the actual front. Now if I move it back, as you can see here, the piston right there is actually stopped. Now why is it stopped? So if I pull this off, you can see here, this ball joint here, it kind of stops the movement, and that's just, I guess, a slight problem in actually trying to articulate it towards the back, and that's just unfortunate. So, of course, you can keep articulating it to the front, but then, of course, eventually this is going to kind of have to come out, and that's just going to be a problem. So, of course, there is, unfortunately, just limited movement like so. One more thing to mention guys is the fact that you can't actually rotate the feet, and the reason why you can't rotate is because there are two joints right there. So if I try, it's just not going to really work that well. So you can get a bit of rotation, but it is quite limited because the actual knee joint is fixated. Now the knee joint here guys, as you can see here, is, you know, it's just kind of like it's a single function, if that's the right way of calling it. Now unfortunately this bit here will kind of hinder the movement. Now if I pull it back, you can see it does go all the way to about over just 90 degrees like so. You can see it right there guys. However, you can't go forward, and that's just unfortunate because of the actual armor piece right here, as you can see. Now this armor piece guys, as you can see in front of me, is quite flimsy, so you can actually move it around. So if I actually pull the leg back, you can do this to it, and that just starts to flop around. So it's not really fixated. It is of course held in by an axle piece, but it is just quite flimsy in that sense. So in terms of articulation, the knee, there isn't much unfortunately. So you can move it back, but you can't really move it forward that much, or actually you can't move it at all, to be honest, towards the front. So you can obviously get it straight, but that's pretty much all you can actually do. Moving upwards guys, as you can see here, we have these little wings here on the side. So we have these wing flaps here, and of course I think it's just part of the skirting, as you can see, and of course you can move them right up, but there you can see is just a gap guys, and of course that's why this is here to of course cover it. Now you can also see that I've added this piece right here. Originally this piece is not really added in. I just felt like adding it in because I actually had extra pieces, but originally this should just be the purple armor piece like so, as you can see it right there, but that's pretty much that. So of course you can articulate this, move it up, but it is meant to stay down like this guys, of course, in order to cover the actual hip, because there is actually nothing under there, as you can see. So in terms of articulation in the actual leg guys, you can get a certain articulation or range of motion. Now it is quite limited because of the actual pieces around it. So of course this, as you can see, this wing piece here can hinder it. Of course the shield piece here in the back can hinder it. So this is the most you can really do, and you know, you can try get it right up, you may break the piece, but that's also because of this piece here what kind of hinders the movement. But you can move it all the way back, and you can still get range of motion to about 90 degrees. So 90 degrees in the back and 90 degrees towards the front like so, and of course same thing applies of course to the actual other leg. Also to mention guys, you can see here is the actual skirting. Now of course this design was created by John Ho, the LEGO designer of the Overlord Makuta. A great design, I have to say, very nice. Of course it is used to, I guess, also cover up the hip region of Overlord Makuta, because there isn't anything there in honesty if you were to actually take this out. But yeah, very nice design overall. Now if we continue moving upwards, you can see there's just a standard little ribcage piece there, or armor piece, and that's just practically for the abdominal. It's fixated in like so. Now next thing guys, as you can see here, as we move up towards the top of his body, you can see here are these armor pieces. Now with these armor pieces in the back here guys, you can move them, you can articulate them, you can move them around. However, they are meant to be pointed towards kind of to the front and sticking out kind of like a V shape, kind kind of resembling, similar to big back muscles, if that's the right way of thinking. I can't really explain it any further, but it's kind of used to make him look bigger, musclier, maybe, I don't know, just kind of give him that masculine, massive type of look there. And of course, as mentioned, you can articulate them and you can move them to however you really want to, like so. Now, in terms of the chest piece, guys, as you can see there, of course, a very great design by John Ho. You can see there is the Makuta. I guess that's the Makuta symbol there. I'm not really sure. But, of course, very similar to, I guess, Anua from the 2015 set. You can see the sticker there. Very similar resemblance to it, except it just has the Makuta mask, I think. I'm not sure. That could be the Mask of Ultimate Power. Not sure. But very great design. Of course, as we all know, the actual chest piece, sorry about the lighting there, guys, the chest piece here is fixated. You can't move it. It is just placed like that, guys, held in by Glaterian neck pieces from the actual back. So, of course, guys, as you can see here at the top, there are these shoulder pieces. Wow, oh, he's almost going to fall there, and we don't want that to happen. So, as you can see here, there are these shoulder pieces, and of course, you can manipulate them. You can move them around, up and down, side to side. You can lift them right up like so if you really wanted to. However, of course, I like to keep them down. Good range of articulation and movement. You can do whatever you want with them, and of course, as you can see, I've kind of added these awesome little spikes there just to kind of add a bit more detail, but that's just kind of me. I felt like adding it to the set. As well as that, guys, you can get articulation in the actual neck. You can move it right back, and of course, as you can see there, I've kind of added in a blue little neck piece there, unfortunately because I don't have it in black, but as you can see there, good range of motion, side to side, a lot more than Shadow Titan Makuta for sure, so you can really get some crazy articulation poses. So guys, in terms of articulation in the actual arms, there is quite limited movement because of this shoulder, I should say this shadow trap piece here, which also is meant to be part of his shoulders, and it just kind of hinders the movement a bit, of course, because of the wings at the back, and because there are little pieces in the back as well, or inside actually right here. So range of motion is very limited, unfortunately. However, you can still get a lot of movement in the actual elbow. So I can pull the elbow all the way back towards a 90-degree angle. I can, but of course this piece here has to be moved. So like that, and then of course you can move it all the way towards the front, and that's pretty much what you can do. So there is range of motion in the elbow, but in the actual whole arm it is quite restricted. And of course you have this little piece here, and I guess that's kind of like a blade which you can stick to the front if you really wanted to. But it's really up to you. Of course, normally it's facing towards the back, and then you have this piece here, kind of like a design piece, I guess, or maybe an armor piece, I'm not sure, but very, very nice as well. And of course, the same thing applies to the other arm, no different, same structure, but yep, I think that's pretty much that. So moving towards the back now, you can see are his awesome wings. Now with the wings, guys, you can articulate them into some crazy position. So you can see here, they're held by this ball socket piece right there, and that ball socket piece can actually move, and then of course you have this purple, I think trans purple piece like so, and of course you can move it as well, held in by another socket piece, and you can get some crazy poses with the actual wings, to be honest. So you can pull them all the way up, back, you can go in and out. It is just really up to you, of course. It just depends on what you really, really want. So there are endless combinations with the actual wings, and of course one of the great things about this set, I have to say, overall, of course, like I said, guys, you can just do so many things, and that's just one of the best, I guess, perks about this actual set. Now, guys, showing you the actual back, there isn't actually much going on there, unfortunately. All you can see here, guys, is this actual gold piece, as you can see there, and it is held by a size 6 armor shell. That's all we actually see in the back, and of course the actual wings, and that's just the unfortunate thing about the back. You can see there, guys, there isn't really much going on there, and yeah, you can also see these trans size 4 armor pieces or shells, but that's pretty much it, to be honest. And of course the Borok pieces, and you can see them there. They look like they're purple, guys, but they're actually in the trans dark blue, because unfortunately the trans purple are actually quite hard to find and are very expensive. Very rare pieces, of course, as we all know. But yep, that's that, and that's just kind of the thing that lacks with the set, unfortunately, just mainly to do with the actual back. One last thing, guys, to let you all know before I actually show you the weapons, is the actual fact that this has no, I guess, gear function or no proper functionality. Of course, we know there are functions in the elbows that can move up and down as well as in the knees, but other than that, guys, this actual set has no functions. That's just the sad thing about it, but that's just what I wanted to all let you know. So here, guys, as you can see here is his first weapon. Now, it's a very interesting weapon, and this is actually held normally in his left arm. Now, of course, I think this is a weapon that is used to capture the Kanohi. So he kind of grabs them like that, and holds the Kanohi in place, or possibly his foe, and we don't know exactly what he would do, but that's just the kind of the idea. Kind of looks like a mini staff, if that's the right way of calling it. Very nice touch, of course, with the half trans-purple stars there. Very nice design, of course, in the purple, since he is in the purple theme, but overall a very nice weapon. So here, guys, as you can see, here is his second weapon, and of course you can see the stickers there, guys. A very nice sticker design. Now, of course, what I've done, guys, in the back is I've just taken a bigger picture of the actual the Mask of Ultimate Power, you would assume, and place it on the actual back. So this is the front and that's the back. You can also see, guys, with the design, I've added a bit of a gold touch to it, and hopefully you guys can see it right there. I've kind of used a felt tip and went around with gold because his theme is in the gold, of course, as we all know. So I said to myself, hey, why not? And of course you can see here these awesome 5 Kanohis. Now you may be thinking, why are they ordered like this? Well, of course, because Ikimu, guys, is considered to be, of course, the Overlord and the Shadow Time Makuta's biggest enemy, because they are brothers. So he's captured him right there. There's his Kanohi, and of course he's deceased, he's dead, and he is just at the top there. And of course you can see there it's held in by chains, and that's kind of the added feature I put on with the actual staff. Now originally this doesn't exist with the staff. Normally from Junho's design you would have the Kanohis placed one under the other, like so, of course, by the Toas, but I kind of thought of changing it up a bit, using the Mask of Creation, Umrak the Destroyer, because Umrak the Destroyer was normally, I guess, the Shadow Titan Makuta's slave, but of course he would be for the Overlord as well. And of course, taking the mask, or I should say Kanohi, from the leader of the Toas, Tahu, and then the second leader, Kopaka, as you can see here, and finally the Golden Skull Grinder mask, because hey, why not? And then of course, moving down towards the bottom of the weapon, you can see there are just this design here with the I guess the knivey, I don't know, swordy looking type of weapons, and then finally as you can see there, the Borok pieces in the trans black, because I couldn't find them in the dark blue. There weren't many, so yeah, I just stuck with trans black, but still looks nice overall. As you can see here, guys, here is his final weapon, and it is the hatchet, or the axe. Well, I think it would be an axe, so one side would be for slicing, one side could be for stabbing, but overall a great design. And of course, as you can see here, that little pin right there is of course where the actual weapon mounts onto his hip, like so. And of course I'm going to show you the overall I guess the overall look of the Overlord with his actual weapons. But that's his weapon right there, guys. A nice little third weapon, of course, if he actually loses his other 2 weapons. So you know, you never know, be prepared for a third weapon. And yep, that's just a great thing to add, of course, from Junho. So there you have it, guys. There you can see, of course, his first weapon on his left arm, the small little staff weapon, as you can see. And of course, here is his second weapon, which is, of course, his largest staff and his largest weapon. And there you can see, of course, the Kanohi's dangling there, as mentioned. And finally, there you can see his small little axe mounted onto his hip, like so. Now, I think that is practically it. You can also see, guys, just finally, is that little chain right there in the corner of his shoulder there. Now, I added that there just as a, you know, as an add-on, because why not? Because Makuta, the JTO Makuta, I should say, or Shadow Time Makuta, has a chain, as well as that the Umrak the Destroyer and Hunter also have it as well. So I kind of thought of continuing on the theme. So there he is. There's the Overlord with the actual chain. But I think overall, that is pretty much it, guys. I really hope you all have enjoyed this review. Now, as mentioned, this is a short review, guys. If you want to see the long review, check it out, guys, in the link in the description below. It is there. It is a in-depth review, so it talks about a lot of things, guys, from the actual weapons to the body to the structure to the articulation, etc., etc. So take a look, guys. It's there in the link. And please do subscribe to my channel, guys. Do give this a big thumbs up. Share the videos around as well, guys, for people who are interested in the Overlord. Other than that, guys, have a great day, everyone. Thank you again so much for watching. I will be talking to you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.